my friends who have done nothing but ruin the entire weekend for me.
I know that doesn't include me.
Oh, you're going to catch some shrapnel, too. 20 minutes behind again. And who texts me? This guy.
But him not showing up, I feel like that's a Jim Cornette of lazy booking.
I disagree.
No.
WrestleMania isn't just the end of feuds. It's the start of new stories. And I feel like this is the start of Cody's new story.
And she totally took a dive.
Oh, she tried. It was the worst botched bump. Delayed bump.
Yeah.
It was like, boom. 1, 2. Then she back bumps. I'm like, what the f*** is this? The f*** is wrong with you?
I have that WrestleMania hangover. There's too much wrestling. Too much. There's a lot of wrestling. I gotta wear these. I got the bags under my eyes, trying to stay up till 3 a.m. watching Hall of Fames.
You're not trying to do the angry Credo routine.
No, this is no more angry. I can't be angry, but I am WrestleMania hungover, man. Angry Kuter, man. You don't get WrestleMania hungover.
Lucky for you, I'm angry enough for the both of us today.
All right. So
yes.
So you think the best thing we should start off is what were some of the worst moments, or what's the worst things that happened this weekend?
What, you mean on the card?
Yeah, just.
Oh, I'm not mad about the card.
Oh no.
I need this. If we're going there, I'm doing this.
All right. Down the hatch she goes. See you on the other side. Welcome back.
Well, scrumptious. Okay. You know who I'm mad at, ladies and gentlemen? My friends who have done nothing but ruin the entire weekend for me.
I know that doesn't include me.
Oh, you're going to catch some shrapnel, too. And you know what? I'm going to say extra F words just so you have to edit them all out, just so we're even. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Credo.
Yep.
You know me. I work all day, every day. I don't stop, right?
Mr. No Days Off.
That's correct. Okay. And in the process of all this, I think it was day 37 in a row on Saturday.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm also going home, renovating the bathroom. It's a lot of work. And I figured, you know what? I'll just get some of this done, and I'll watch while I'm working in the bathroom on my phone or something. I'm like a half hour behind everybody. And as I turn this thing on, I get the text message from you know who. Yeet. I let it go because you know what? He thinks of the days where it was pay-per-view, everybody was watching at the same time.
Yeah.
Streaming has killed this for us, right?
Yeah.
I said, listen, buddy, I'm behind everybody. I started late, right? Because you can't start from the beginning, but what I learned is when you go live, you can rewind.
Yep.
And that's what I did. So I said, please don't text me any more spoilers. Main event comes around, and he spoils the main event.
Gotta wait,
and
man.
I texted him. I was like, bro, I told you I was behind. You know what he says to me?
What's that?
Well, you didn't catch up? Who the catches up? It's like, what did you do? You expected me to fast forward through the video packages and the entrances, which is also like the best part of watching the show.
Yeah,
because as the fans, we love the video packages. We love the entrances. It's part of the show. Why the am I skipping through that? To avoid your dumbass with the spoilers. Went to bed angry. Work Sunday morning. Okay. Go to night 2. 20 minutes behind again. And who texts me? This guy. And you know how I know he spoils it? Is because the opening match was the women's triple threat. And he goes, I'm about to break my TV. And we all know, as viewers of this show, that means Io Sky won, and he smashed his television.
I just figured it's Sunday. Everybody's home. They're watching it. I figured it was safe to text that because I was wondering why you weren't in
and that's why I left the group chat.
You left the group chat. I was like, what is this? There's only 2 other guys in here. And
yeah.
And so I didn't realize that till later
And
on.
then, it's still not over.
Uh-oh.
One more.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I left the group chat.
Yep. Figured you were safe?
Yeah, I figured that. Guess who was wrong? This guy. Okay? And then all of a sudden I get a text from you know who. You know, I've never loved my girl's cat so much now that he can't come over because he's allergic.
Yeah.
But say his name is the text. This guy. I'm like, I know what that means. Yeah. That's Joe Hendry, and he's the mystery opponent for Orton. You fucking asshole. So, for all that, I hate my friends because you have all... Do yourselves a favor. In the age of streaming...
Always check.
Always check. Like, dude, are you live? Are you caught up? Before you're like, dude, I want to... Like, I get it. Everyone's excited. They want to talk about the show. Jesus, I sound like Dave LaGreca right now. I'm about to have a stroke the way he did yesterday morning.
It was good. He's upset about some things, you know. I guess he's getting into his own angry LaGreca phase, and okay, we're sorry. I guess some of us ruined some of the Mania for you, but overall, man, what did you think overall the whole show? Because I feel like it was missing something this year. I don't know. There was a lot of good moments, but there's also some moments that were like, we could have probably did it better or did something.
I don't have any complaints on that show.
Nothing at all.
Honestly, I thought the card had its highs and its lows, but it was well balanced. From day one all the way through day two. Everyone is always upset because it didn't end on the high note, and I get it. Back to LaGreca, I get why he's mad. Believe me. The finish was wonky. They feel like Cody looked weak. And I don't agree with that. I mean, I take that back. I agree with that, but I think there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because when you go back to last year, I feel like they did so much. It was the high of the highs, and they gave him everything. And if we're going to see a new Cody Rhodes, right, I feel like the best way to do that is to take everything away. Like, he got nothing. Like they said, he didn't even get the receipt on Travis Scott, right? So if we're going to get this like heel version of Cody, which is what I'm personally hoping for, I think the best way to get there is to have that moment where he couldn't hit John Cena. He didn't get his revenge on Scott. And it just makes him look so weak that he has to like do these massive changes. And I'm hopeful. Like I said last week, WrestleMania isn't just the end of feuds. It's the start of new stories. And I feel like this is the start of Cody's new story.
No, yeah. So one thing though, because The Rock actually spoke today on Pat McAfee's show. Where's he been? Right, everybody's asking, "Where's The Rock? Where's The Rock?" They're even selling merch at that WrestleMania, saying that finally The Rock has come back to Las Vegas. A big thing that people kind of wanted. They kind of thought it was storybook that, hey, The Rock's going to do something at the show. Doesn't do it. Comes on the interview the next day saying he didn't think he was needed there. And for it to end with Travis Scott, to where, like, I don't know Travis Scott. Like, I know him, but I don't know him. I mean, I'm not really following him, right? So for him to be the only kind of a thing that comes out, or the only kind of person that comes out to interfere in this kind of a match, it just felt flat. Like, I felt like that could have been a Rock moment. We could have found out some more stuff about what's been going on the past several months. I just thought it ended kind of flat to where that's how it's going to end. And you know, I know you can't compare it to last year. Last year was everything all in, right? So everybody from the crowd, the kids, whatever, all the celebration, people from the locker room. I knew there was going to be something going on, but I didn't think it would end like that. It was kind of a little flat for an ending for WrestleMania.
It was a wonky finish. I get it, but I want to see where the story goes. I find it intriguing. I really do. You went from the highest of highs, and now you're at the lowest of lows. Like, to me, that's a compelling story. That's just me. And I'm probably in the minority because I've heard nothing but complaints about the finish. Like, okay, it wasn't what we expected. We didn't really get anything from The Rock, but I feel like that might be something that happens down the line. And do we need him at this point?
I feel like we need something from him. I feel like him would have been a lot better than Travis Scott. I would have like something with him doing something just to, like, I don't know, show why he teamed with The Rock in the first place. Why did he sell his soul? Why is he even partnered with him? Just something. So with that whole thing though, but you know,
let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Do you think that could work better down the road, where when The Rock finally does show up, that Cody comes and confronts him? Like, to me, I think it's like, I saw this meme today, and it was Roman Reigns going like this, right? And it was Cody in the background. And it said something along the lines of, it took 4 legends for you to beat me, and it only took Travis Scott for John Cena to beat you, and I'm just dying, right? Because there was no Rock. There was no Undertaker. And I feel like if you use that down the line for the storyline, it might make a little more sense. I want to let them cook. I want to let them cook.
All right. I mean, I just thought we could have used something more about it. But, I'm loving Cena on this because even after when he won it, he threw Cody's side plates on the ground in the press conference.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I think when he walked in, he sat down or whatever, he took them off, threw them on the ground. Just seeing him. But he also mentioned that he was taking this championship home. He was going to be the last real champion and that WWE is going to have to figure out what to do. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna have that belt and retire it and just whatever, and then WWE is gonna have to split it to where it's not the WWE Undisputed Champion, it's gonna be just the WWE Champion, because I know they also retired the Universal part and once they combined them all, and so I thought something like that was gonna happen, and then it didn't happen, and then the next night on the Raw after Mania we get a Randy Orton kind of seemingly starting another feud with John Cena.
Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me because I'm sure it's like a backlash match, but it bothers me that it's like, I feel like there's still story to be told with Cody, and I feel like, okay, we're just going to go to Randy Orton now, have him do a match, and then go. And then like, I feel like, we talked where, WrestleMania should be the end of that chapter. That's why I feel like The Rock should have been there to close that chapter, whatever that chapter was, and we could still do more with him. But him not showing up, I feel like that's the Jim Cornette of lazy booking.
I disagree.
No?
I disagree.
I don't know. The Rock didn't know what to do. Couldn't get paid, so he stayed home. I don't know.
Forget that.
All right.
I say this. Like I said before, down the road, it makes more sense for him to be involved with Cody because he doesn't really have the history with Cena in the story. He has the history with Cody. Yeah. So down the road, I can see this working better. Right. I want to get, like I said, let the man cook.
Yeah.
Because to hear like LaGreca cussing out, F The Rock, and I want to know how Triple H feels. Like, I get the frustration, but that's the best part about being a wrestling fan.
All right.
We have the highs of the highs, and I want to be pissed off at the end of like, seriously, why watch if you always get what you want?
All right. That's fair enough.
Okay.
What did you think about what Steve Austin said at WrestleMania?
Before or after he ran that bitch over with his squad?
I was trying to set you up because I was going to be like, but nobody remembers it because all they remember him is crashing. Poor Steve Austin, because I feel like, poor Steve Austin, because like I said, I have no idea what the hell he said, because all I'm thinking about is like, did he kill somebody or what happened that whole time?
First off, there's a slow motion video of it.
Yeah, and she totally took a dive.
Oh, she tried. It was the worst botched bump, delayed bump. Yeah. It was like, boom, 1, 2. Then she back bumps. I'm like, what the f is this?
Yeah. Oh man, she almost threw WrestleMania into jeopardy.
I know. We saw Nick Khan in the front. Like, are you okay?
Free tickets. So what are you
for life.
I'm saying, I'll be like, oh, my neck. How about next?
What were you happy about this card? Because Austin. Okay, that motherfucker missed the ramp driving down. Did you see that video?
Yes.
That's what took him so long.
Was that like a last minute decision? Like, Steve, we're going to put you on the show.
Don't drink and drive quad, Steve.
No. Okay, so, I mean, yeah. I think my only other gripe, and I'll tell you this really quick, and then we can talk about some of the good moments, but one of my gripes was Joe Hendry. Now, hear me out. I don't hate the guy, but I feel like Mania is a big deal.
Okay.
And the Rumble, whatever, off. It's 30 guys. Yeah, he could take a spot on that. But taking somebody's Mania spot, I think, is a big deal. And granted, I mean, this is WWE. If you want a Mania spot, work your way up and to get onto that spot. Okay. And for him to kind of come in there, take that guest spot, I mean, I would have been happy seeing Rusev. It's Rusev Day again. He's back. I wouldn't be as mad if somebody coming back take that spot. That would have been good. Or just somebody else like a Karrion Kross. You saw his promo after SmackDown. That was,
oh my god.
We can talk about that too. But like out of anybody they could have picked, and no offense to Joe Hendry, but like I felt like that should have went to somebody who was waiting in the wings and who's been there and who's been a good soldier kind of a thing. And that like Kevin Owens got taken off, a lot of injuries this year. And was replaced by that. And I'm like, that's a big deal for somebody. Somebody's sitting back there. I'm sure there's other wrestlers back there that were pissed being like, that could have fucking been
what shocked me about that?
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I think Randy Orton is deceivingly tall compared to some of the other
he's
a tall man.
Yep.
And
in shape, physique,
yeah,
he's
and
the wrestler.
He's put on some muscle the last couple of years. So it's not just his height. It's that like girth pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh he dwarfed Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry. I was just like, damn. But I thought it was I'm not even mad at that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice little surprise. Somebody for a quick open challenge from a different promotion. I think it worked because he is actually smaller than Orton. He got overpowered. You know, they did the cutesy little spots, and it was one of the best RKOs ever. Like, it was cool. Like, I enjoy for what it was. Just something to fill the time and give Orton a spot. Who deserved a WrestleMania match? Shout out to Kevin Owens, speedy recovery. You know, like, but honestly, he deserved to be on that card. That was a cool moment, and that just ups Joe Hendry's stock.
No, it does, and that's what I'm saying, to where like they must either really be behind this guy or know that they're going to sign him to put him in that spot.
Yes,
or else like that's a really big deal. Like just have him,
because he got a huge pop. It wasn't like the crowd didn't know who he was.
Yeah. So no, okay, and this isn't really a gripe, but I just want to talk about some of these things where I was more surprised and was mad. But like how quick Gunther tapped out, or like even the women's the triple threat match, like it ended quick. Like she took that bump off the top rope, hit her, pinned her, boom, 1, 2, 3, or whatever. I felt like some of the matches, like the endings, like the Gunther thing, I thought like they could have dragged out for a few more seconds, like him trying to tap out. But as soon as he put that lock on him or whatever it was like, I'm tapping out, And I was like, really? That was fast. Like, I thought he would have sold it a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Like it just seemed like it was really fast. And especially like the women's match, from my last memory, I didn't rewatch it, but it just seemed like a fast ending. That it wasn't drawn out. Does any like things like that ever bother you, to where it's like, oh wow, he either just wants to go home, or like
at that point, I feel like you're nitpicking, but I see your point.
And I'm not like mad at it, but I was just surprised at like why they ended so fast.
And I saw some of that other footage of him just being pissed off walking up, and I get it. I feel like he deserved a better reign.
Yeah,
especially
coming off one of the longest reigns.
That.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing the way Jey was at the press conference after winning. Holy God.
I was going to do that this week. I was going to try to say, what can I say 2 words nonstop of just like yeet son or whatever he was
like. Do you remember the days where
hear what he's saying?
Do you remember the days where like I used to drink heavily during the show, and you'd be like, dude, you make editing this show so hard, right? And listening
back,
to
look like pros.
I get it, but that's the point. A small regional podcast like this, you kind of got to look a little more professional if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're the fucking world heavyweight champion, and you show up to okay. Everybody loved the one with him and Cody when they won the tag
different.
belts.
This is like you just like
right, because Cody was the linchpin that held that whole conference together. Dude, if you don't have buyer's remorse as a company after putting a rocket ship on that man's back, getting that crowd behind him, and don't get me wrong, not to say he hasn't worked his ass off. He's done everything great.
Yep.
But dude, you just won the big one. And that press conference, I was just like, oh my, I couldn't even watch it. Then to see him on Raw,
yep.
It was you wearing them shades and you ain't taking them off because you're hung over like Credo is. It was
it's a WrestleMania
all we
hangover.
can do is hug each other, Sammy and Jimmy, and do the yeet, yeet, yeet. I'm surprised that motherfucker didn't puke in the ring.
It was a long weekend. Even especially what I was mad at about the weekend is that I couldn't watch the Hall of Fame like a normal tradition. I always love putting on the Hall of Fame before Mania weekend, watching it, and then get ready for Mania. This year it's on at like 1 a.m. is the start time on Friday because they had to go to another building. They didn't just do it at SmackDown. They finished SmackDown and they went to another building down the strip and did the Hall of Fame. So I don't think even fans were in there. And if they were, it was very few, but it was like just WWE people. And so I'm like, all right.
I feel like it seemed from the video footage like it was a private ceremony.
Yeah, and it was like 1 till 3-ish or whatever. And I'm like,
who the fuck is watching that live?
I know. Like,
I bet you there's a few marks that watch that live. Because you know what?
Like, come on, I want to stay up for this.
There are some people out there who love wrestling more than they love pussy. That's all I got to say.
You know, it happens. No, so okay. A lot of the stuff we were talking about. Let's talk about some of the fun moments out there. Some of the best moments. I think one of the best moments was Dominic Mysterio winning the IC Championship. Like we called it. I think I said that.
Yes,
we said it was going to happen.
He needed it.
He needed it, and he deserves it. Like I said, this kid could wrestle anybody, anytime, anywhere, any place. Makes everybody look good, if you will. And then it was funny because like he started walking out, and then I think the producers, whatever, like go back to the ring because they were seeing how much the fans were loving it. They wanted to give him another little bit of a mania moment, running back to the ring and celebrating. And so like they got to have it on that board pretty soon that like he's not really a bad. You know, it's like now the bad guys are the cool guys. He's still bad, but people still love him right now. So
I feel like for somebody who for the past 2-3 years, anytime he touches a microphone, gets booed so badly. I don't know how he does it sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now he's getting cheers, so
and it's like you expect him to get the Charlotte, Chicago routine. You know what I mean? Every time he touches that mic and he somehow powers through it and does it. And now it's like, okay, you took our you've given us great content. You're telling a great story. And he's a pretty damn good worker. It's surprising. It's just, and the way what pisses me off is people are like, oh, he sucks. He's this. It's like, but that's the way they're booking him.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's part of the story.
Just wait till they book him as a face. Like he's
God!
So it's like he's good what he's doing right now.
He has to keep an edge though. He can never ever be that like.
Yeah, he tried doing that when his dad first brought him in too. So
and it's just
God. Like nobody really knew, and it's like, oh, why is this kid hanging around? So he found himself, if you will, being Dirty Dom, and it's good. It was a feel good moment because like this kid deserves it, and so congratulations to him.
Hey,
yeah.
Let's talk about EO Sky. How
what a
is
match.
your TV doing? And how much did the new one cost?
She's just the Asuka replacement. Asuka left and got injured, so they needed a new
racist.
They needed another powerhouse in there besides Bianca and Rhea. So, okay, I see that for her retaining.
Yes.
Okay. But that's why I was surprised, too, because going back, I'm like, why did they switch it so fast off of her? I think they gave her that Mania moment, kind of like the stuff that she's been through with them for the past few years, to kind of get a little more recognition for Io, to actually having a Mania moment, going in as champion, winning as champion.
Yes.
All right, it's built her stock up a lot now.
Especially after having to put over Bayley last year, and then Bayley dropped it. It feel like she dropped it so quick.
Yeah. So
she only had it for a few months, and it was disappointing.
No, yeah. So it definitely raised her stock, if you will, as being a top female in here. So
you know what raised my stock?
What's that?
Seeing her the next night in that match against Stephanie Vac. Oh my God. That match was so much fun to watch.
That's another thing I didn't get to watch. I started watching it tonight before we came here. But
NXT?
Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was on at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I got things going on. Come on.
I actually watched it this morning because I wanted to understand what the hell happened.
Yeah.
With Julia and all this stuff, because we saw them on Raw last night. I'm like,
yep.
Man, I really missed something. Because only the people who watch the pay-per-view understand.
Yep.
I have never really. I got to get back into NXT, but Stephanie Vaquero, oh my God, she is awesome to watch.
No, some of these girls coming up, man.
She's gonna be that next big one, and I want to see a Rhea Julia, because that stare down. That was something that was like, this is like it's going to be good.
No, for sure. So, and I think HBK said it too, that like this Mania, like 90% of the card came from NXT, like over the past 10 years of how it's grown. So it's kind of, this is where we are right now. So like, it was fun hearing about them talk about it at the Hall of Fame. What's your takes on this? I know we talked about it briefly, but I think it's a good thing, and we kind of joked about it a little bit, but the whole Cena becoming 17-time champion, just overall, surpassing Ric Flair's record 16 times.
That doesn't mean anything.
So, but I mean, it's on their official record thing.
That. You know why I hate that?
But when they always ask it's who's had the longest, it's always going to be Cena now. Is the 17-time
Who cares? No.
The WWE audience.
No, they don't. Because honestly, I feel like this. Yes, you won it 17 times, which means you lost it 17 times.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, that's horrible. Whereas somebody, like, okay, think about the length of the reign that Roman had.
Yeah.
Okay? One reign for that amount of time. How many times did John Cena, in that time frame, those amount of days, how many times did he win and lose a belt?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That don't mean anything to me. A long, lengthy pause title reign is what matters. Not that I won it 18, 19, 20 times. You motherfucker. I don't care how many times you won it.
So you're saying it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it?
No, I'm not saying it's not how many times you use it, but how long you use it for.
All right. But I mean, I think their biggest thing is that they wanted that, like the Undertaker, where it was like 18-1, 19-1, or whatever. Like seeing that number. I feel like they wanted that as a moment, and he won it as a heel. So now he's not even living up that moment because now it's just like, oh, I won it. You fans, whatever. And
I only have to show up 27 more times. I'm like, but see, that's great. That's a great, compelling story to me.
No, it's good. I'm just saying, like, but I feel like at the end of the day, that's what they're going for, trying to erase that record, trying to have their new record, and goading him around for the next few months, I guess.
Okay, here's one.
All right.
With that, him winning that belt, all right, do you feel like it's Hogan in WCW right now, being that Orton was the first person to just, whoop his ass? It's like Hogan, all right, first we got to hire Earthquake so I can get him. Then we got to hire Savage. It's just like all the people that he wrestled in WWE in that tenure. Yeah. It's like, are we going to get it's going to be Orton? Then it's going to be Punk. It's just, and you know what I'm saying? Like, is that what this is going to be? Because to me, that's hilarious. Because that just makes me want to hate him more. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's great. Like, use our hatred as internet fans against us.
Sure. Well, how long do you think this is going to last, too? Do you think it's going to last like the whole year of him just being either a champ or just being a heel too, like 1-1 with those? Or
I want to see where. I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to do that
because like that. I was surprised they did the whole Orton thing right away. But either way, all right.
You have the limited dates with him.
Yeah.
You got to put the gas pedal down.
Yep, sure. So things are changing. That's what's fun about it, especially after WrestleMania. A lot of things happen. Speaking of a lot of things, let's talk some more about Mania, and then there's other things that happen I think we can get into more.
Okay.
Where I was on Saturday, we were watching at Aspire Brewery in Middletown for Awesome Championship Wrestling. They had some trivia going on.
Yeah.
And everybody out there watching the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair match wanted Tiffany to win. Everybody, because like everybody was on edge. Like people were mad. They were just getting ready to see if Charlotte won, and everybody was Tiffany. Everybody was for Tiffany. So that was one of those things where they thought she was gonna lose, but everybody was happy about it. And I thought she chipped her tooth or something happened at the end of it. But,
bro, if you thought Charlotte looked bad after that f***ing surgery, Tiffany looked like she just got her ass beat in a prison fight.
Yep.
She didn't win.
Yep.
She escaped. I'm telling you.
All right.
There's nobody in the WWE who could have made Tiffany look better than Charlotte Flair did. I don't care if you're going to say Bianca Belair or Rhea. As much as I make fun of Charlotte, I always give the woman her props. She's the best women's worker they have ever seen. And had been anybody else in that match, granted, she kind of had the X-Pac heat.
Yeah.
That's what they were going for. And look, Tiffany won.
Yep.
She escaped. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody could have made her look better than Charlotte did.
Yeah.
So props to Charlotte for making Tiffany look better than she actually is.
No,
and I'm going there. Y'all love her because she's hot. I don't like her that way. I don't like her as a champ. Like, I think she had a great story, but as a worker, she doesn't do it for me. She's got a couple of good moves. Is she the same level worker, in your opinion, as Charlotte?
She's still young.
That's not answering the question. Is she
the
same level worker as Charlotte?
I think she's definitely ahead of her game than what most of these girls were at their age coming into this business, because they definitely pushed her along pretty fast through NXT and got her up to the main roster.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I don't think
Did she belong in that match against Charlotte Flair, yes or no?
Yes.
You're a
Well, either way, everybody was still glad to see it happen. So, all right, we hear it. But there's more that would happen on that night. Jacob Fatu winning the United States Championship. Of
course, we knew you were going to be happy about that, Mr. I hate LA Knight.
Hey, it's I think Jacob's gonna put some pristine on this United States Championship.
Yeah.
I think it needs something, and I think for him winning it, it's a good stepping stone in the right direction.
Yeah.
Without pushing him super fast, but give him something now on his way up. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with that, though.
Yeah,
it was a good match.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
I got to keep going. But that triple threat, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, they built up Punk's first WrestleMania main event. He had a whole package before his entrance, like his own personal one, just getting there. He got it, but he didn't win. We had Paul Heyman cost CM Punk with a low blow and then cost Roman Reigns with a low blow. And now he's with Seth Rollins. So what did you think about that? Is that the shock factor they wanted?
I don't think it was all that shocking, because I feel like it's something that they foreshadowed way too much.
I thought they were teasing that. I didn't think they were going to really happen.
Like it was almost like they were giving it away.
Yeah, it was like too good to be true. It was like, he's never going to go with him.
There was one point at the beginning of the match, right, where they did a close-up shot of Seth, and he just had this like, I got you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was very odd. Like, yeah, I got this because I got something. I got an ace up my sleeve or whatever. And it was just like, it was so blatantly obvious that it was going to happen that, like, had Chris ruined that for me, I wouldn't have cared because I already knew from the beginning.
Oh, Chris, I hope you're subscribing at least. Come on, comment on the video or something. No, it was I thought night one, though, was a good main event between these three.
Absolutely.
The shock value kind of a thing at the end. It was good. Great match by all three of them. I'm glad everything worked out great. Like I said, we said Seth Rollins is always like the third wheel. Now they kind of positioning him to be another powerful main event player, as like he always was, but just kind of enhancing him now, especially with what happened on Raw. But we can get to that later on. Moving right along, though, there was a lot of injuries for this pay-per-view. Okay. Rey Mysterio got injured the night before. Bayley was injured.
I missed
Kevin Owens was injured.
Well, what happened with Bayley? I missed that.
I think she was written off just to get Becky on the card.
Okay.
So I think she was written off. I think she kind of took one for the team to have that surprise kind of happen.
But see, that's weird, because then they just have them drop the belts the next night?
I know, so that was even weird.
What the fuck?
Maybe she's back, but she's not 100% back for a few days. I don't know. That was weird. That's like, why even do it, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just too much trying to shock everybody. Oh, they just won it. Oh, they just lost it. I'm like, they could have did something else. But kudos to Rey Fénix. I mean, debuted 2 weeks ago-ish, and now he has a Mania match against El Grande Americano.
Dude,
both the Lucha Brothers have matches at Mania.
I'm happy for them, and they looked great. I felt bad because it's like you're saying, Rey Fénix, a lot of people aren't as familiar with him as they are with Penta, and he's only had that one match on SmackDown. Maybe he had one the night before.
Yeah.
But it's like, to put him in that position, and he was great. But listen, the next T-shirt I get, El Grande Americano. I love this guy.
I'm surprised they didn't reveal, no reveal. He won it and he left as
Why would you reveal a luchador.
I thought that was the whole build. I thought it was going to be like, haha, it was Chad Gable the whole time.
Whoa. Never besmirch the good name of El Grande Americano. How do you feel about WWE with the big news purchasing AAA?
You know, it's going to be interesting because I'm kind of curious what they're going to even do with it. But they have like all the top like luchadors, if you will, from Rey, Penta, Mysterio, Dragon Lee, yada, 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 right? The list goes on. They have a huge roster that could be used with AAA. I'm kind of curious what they'll plan on doing, but it's one of those things, like if you're working for New Japan or AAA or whatever, you're bringing these guys in, like the fans aren't familiar with them. So I'm kind of curious. You know, I think Del Rio is a champion down, or was a champion at AAA.
I think that's CMLL.
Oh, all right.
I think that's the other promotion.
I don't know. CMLL, AAA, it's all the same.
I could be wrong.
But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do because, like I said, they have an abundance of. They have the Latino world order.
But see, and that's not a bad thing either, because I feel like if you own the company, you can send these guys that you're not necessarily using back down there to draw cards and make money and build them up down there. And maybe...
well, you got like guys going in Bloodsport, like... what's his name? Was in it this weekend too, and so was... man, I can't think of their names. Shayna Baszler was a part of it. Bloodsport, wasn't she? Or
was that this year too?
Or Natty Neidhart, she was in it or something. Somebody, and I can't think. I didn't watch it. I just read on the.
Wasn't Shayna in one of those matches last year as well?
I thought so, and I didn't see it, so I was just reading stuff. But I don't know. And the dude we were talking about before too was in it with his wife Scarlett. I can't think of his name.
Karrion Kross?
Yeah, he was a part of it too, and he won.
Oh, cool.
So it's like...
So he cusses everybody out on Friday night and then decides to go and work an indie show, make $100. I love him. I think they're going to do something big with him soon.
Nah, he's a good talker, man.
He really is.
We had him on our show years ago before he kind of made it really bigger.
Killer Kross, that's right. Yeah.
You know, so he's a really great guy, though. I think he deserves it. I mean... It's just on how you use them, right? You got to use these guys, and like I said, you could use them in certain moments like this, and you could also chalk up that argument to where I said, "Oh, you had Joe Hendry come in, and it could have been a spot." You had Rey Fenix get his own match, and he's been around 2 weeks. I'm sure that made more people backstage pissed off, being like, "How come I wasn't chosen for this kind of a match?"
Well, because they wanted a luchador to go. I know,
but anyway.
But you're not wrong. You could have used Dragon Lee.
Somebody that's been actually with them for a while, give them that moment, but. I get it.
Who's a bigger name, Rey Fenix or Dragon Lee?
Yeah, Rey Fenix.
Okay, but then again, to the WWE fans, it might be Dragon Lee because they're more familiar with him. Yeah, I don't know. You're not wrong.
No, yeah. We were talking about this, I think, on the chat before about Jade Cargill and Naomi. This was like the first singles match that didn't involve a title for the women in like over 10 years or something like that. But we were talking about Jade. I think I was talking to Mike Shapiro about it too. We were like, how do we feel about her? And, you know, we were saying she's still trying to find herself and how to do this kind of a thing. But at the same time, she's improved a lot more since she's worked in AEW.
That's not saying much, though.
I know. And I'm like, all the time she's had here and off camera and like breaks and in between, you'd think she'd be a little bit more farther along than what she is. But I feel like somebody like Jade Cargill, or whether if you're 7 foot whatever giants, I feel like they got to book these guys as just squash matches. Give them a big match. Don't let them be in the ring. They don't need to do the Iron Man match thing, right? Like, I don't want them in the ring for an hour because they're not going to be able to do it. I don't know if she's just at that level to where you just got to give her like boom, boom, boom. She wins.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying you got to give her the Goldberg routine.
Yeah, give her like she's a giant, like she's an unstoppable beast.
But
like,
see,
I don't want to work like 50 minutes.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
because the fact that she doesn't work regular matches. All up until then, it's been nothing but squash matches with her. And her getting the hot tag from Bianca in those tag matches. It's always just her, the squash at the end. And I think you're starting to see that, and people are noticing that. And, bro, you got to work harder. It's the true definition of all show and no go.
Yeah.
And it's going to start to piss a lot of the fans off because they're investing a lot of time into her, a lot of TV time, and it's really not producing the greatest quality of matches.
Yeah.
The programs and storylines are great, And then the bell rings.
Yep. Then you see what happens.
Yeah.
She's got her whole licking her hand thing down at the end. I'm like, all right, let's work at the beginning part now.
Stop that. That's disgusting.
Oh, Jade. Anyway, we talked about a lot of stuff on here. Some other things that happened. The Dominic win was great. Breaker losing the championship, but now is a Paul Heyman guy.
I love that.
I
did not see that coming.
I didn't see that coming yet. It's I don't know if there's going to be any more added to this group, but do you think there needs to be, or
yes,
got to have another person?
You need one more.
Yeah. Who do you think? I don't want to throw you on it. If you think of somebody, let me know. But I'm interested to see it because it puts Bron into like a main event kind of a picture. Now he's working with the main event guys, and it gives him a little bit of something to do besides just being that dominant workhorse of an IC champion, if you will.
Okay, how about this? Think of this new group as an evolution type, right? Seth Rollins is going to be your Triple H.
Yep.
Let's just say Paul Heyman's your Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker is your Orton or Batista.
Yeah.
So you either want somebody who's in between them, age-wise and experience-wise, or you want another Daisy Fresh guy to get the rub off of Paul and some of these other guys. Who needs that more than anybody right now?
Oof.
Austin Theory.
Yeah. Well, I know he's been doing stuff with the other dude.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
Get that piece of shit wallpaper the out of here. Right?
It was one of those things where he was working in NXT. He had this thing where it was a shoey. He would drink like a beverage from his shoe. And I was like, that's kind of weird because the shoe's kind of dirty and I wouldn't do that. I don't know. But no, they've been put them together. He was a Vince boy. But now if they have him part of this, they could, he could be like one of the youngest members, kind of like Orton, right? So
I'm good. Or what about somebody like Carmelo Hayes?
I mean, I was surprised he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal too. Good for him because I'm like,
did that? When the was that?
That was Friday night, and he won it.
They did it on SmackDown?
Yeah, it's the annual SmackDown match now because they just don't have enough time with 2 days and all the.
They don't even put it on the pre-show. There is no pre-show matches anymore.
That's what they should be. They should be putting it on the pre-show. But no, like Carmelo Hayes, that's another great name to where. As I was like, the dude needed something. He got something. He now is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner.
What about somebody like Rusev? He's kind of in the middle of those two.
I would, I would.
I think that would be like, well, no, because Bron Breakker is kind of like the powerhouse. I was just trying to think of somebody who's different from the rest. But like the problem with Braun is he's got the strength and he's got the speed, he's got the agility. And then I just look at like Seth as the agility and like flippy dippy guy. You need like a powerhouse, like a just straight powerhouse for that group.
Omos.
Oh, you just popped Mike Shapiro like you wouldn't believe.
Omos, put him on, bring him back. That's why he had to drop his Japan Championship or whatever.
That pisses me off.
No, so I mean that's a cool thing that happened out of this weekend, right? So definitely looking forward for that. What else happened this weekend? Anything we could talk about that's cool? Like the whole the Sin City Street fight. It had a fast ending, and that went with the whole Gunther thing and the women's thing, and it just like. I just feel like there was supposed to be more, and it was just a quick 1, 2, 3, and I was like, oh, all right.
He claymored him through a fucking chair. What the fuck else you want him to do?
I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know. I just felt fast when I was in the middle of everything else.
No, I agree. I feel like a lot of those like undercard matches were rushed, and they gave the main events the proper time. But that's the thing. Like, I'm glad they do that because now I don't want 2 shifts of WrestleMania. Because that's what it would turn into. You can't give everybody 25 minutes. You just can't.
No, it's too much.
Especially with the entrances and the video packages. It's when you really think about it, with these special entrances and the video package beforehand, that right there is like 10 minutes.
Yep.
And if the match is shorter than those packages, everybody's getting like a 20-minute segment.
Yep.
It's weird.
I don't know, man. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm still hungover from this. I just want to sit and chill and not watch any more wrestling right now. But we still got to see what's happening on SmackDown now.
You're blocked on my phone, by the way.
I got to edge you back. You could. There's no spoilers. No more spoilers. That's all right. We'll get you back.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.